starting with location number 1. Now I'm going to be sharing a few things why I like these areas on the map, having a quick go through them and talking about them, so you know exactly why I kind of like these areas and not just like showing you with some music in the background of these areas like the last one. So this one will be a bit more talkative. So get your popcorn, get your cup of tea or whatever you like, and sit back, relax, and have a look through with me. Now I really like this base location because you kind of have like 2 levels of security here, and it's a huge space that you can have, and just you can build so much of it, like so much. You can see the doorway here that I've done for a demonstration, how tall that is just there. You can fit wheels of paint and stuff in here as well, and it's huge, well protected. Inside it would be pretty hard for an avatar to get in here and wreak havoc on your base. There's only a few flaws with this base, and I always would recommend plugging up these curly bits here with some foundation. So you make like a little courtyard area here for like maybe something like a religious altar, something not as worth, just stick it there. And then in here you'd have more of your important stuff because you'd have a better layer of protection then. If it was on the second layer here, that's not that hard to plug up. You could even honeycomb it here. But I've just done some basic foundation just to show you. Now the reason why this little place here is more ideal for like a courtyard is because the only flaw here is you do have these roof gaps on the outer bits, which it doesn't make it quite ideal, but again you can also plug it up with foundation, which I've done on the other side. You can make it pretty strong that way, just for reference. I like this because you don't have to bother too much with too much protection. As for a door, it's very concealed. Now they do have these little gaps here, but you can't actually go through them. They're just windows, kind of. But you can clog them if you like anyway, just in case. Now this area is in the middle of the desert. The only problem you'll probably get here is getting wood. But of course you can go down more to the wooded areas and get wood that way. A good way of doing that is actually going the opposite direction through here. And you could go down to the highlands, which is just not so far away from here. It's pretty darn isolated, but that can be pretty good. But yeah, just over there would probably be your best bet for farming trees and stuff like that. It's not so far away from the towers, it's just in this little building here. I wouldn't recommend this area if you're kind of looking for a casual play, but if you're a more devoted kind of player, then it would probably be good for you. But if you don't mind running a little bit extra to get some wood, then it's completely fine. A good way of getting resources to your house would be getting a thrall, just stuffing it full of stuff, then coming back and forth. That would be the best way. And it is pretty much right here on the map, just there. You're near some brimstone as well, which is really nice. You're not too far from main thrall spots on the map that you could use. You're actually in between 3 major spots of thrall areas you can get really good thralls at. So if you were to make a little out camp by these little places, then you would be just fine living here and shouldn't have a problem at all. Moving on to the second base location that I really like. Now this is pretty close to the first one, but I thought it would be worth mentioning on this list. It's not so much as hidden as other places, but is again in a rural space that not many people would go to, and it is darn high up. Now this place is actually really easy to protect. The only gods you might have a problem against would probably be Jebel Sag. And his damage is not on the highest tiers of gods, so you probably should be fine. If you protect it pretty well, you should be perfectly good, and you're near a great area. Now, the reason I really like this place is it's so spacious, and you can also put a lip on the edges of this building, and put spike walls so nobody can actually climb into your base at all. You can be really safe that way. I actually built here one season ago, and I had an elevator system, which was the only way to get in this base. You couldn't climb into it or anything. It was the only way to get in. And it was from here down to the platform down below. I had an elevator, and then I protected that and had another elevator system going down to the sand part. But if you protect this top bit here where you'd have your elevator really well, and you could even do like a little trap elevator that you'd have to get out quickly or something like that, then you'd be really good. If you don't mind waiting on your elevator to get up to the top of this, then it is brilliant. It is a really, really great area to be in, because you're just in between everything, and it is right here on the map, just up on this bit here. You're quite near lots of fruit areas as well, so you're not that far away from things, and you're right in the middle of it all pretty much, so it is a nice little location. Welcome to our third location that I'm going to show you. Now this place is a little more well known than other places, but this place I really, really like it. It is in quite a rural area. It is really nice. You only have one entry point on this one, and you can build many floors and levels on it to fill all your needs. There is plenty of space here, as you can see. This place is up in the highlands. It is near metal, it's near trees, it's near pretty much everything you need. It can be quite a popular spot, is the only problem. But if you're to snag this place, then you'll pretty much be very well off. There is multiple full locations near here. You are right near the snow biome, so if you wanted black ice, then you are really good off for this. And you're just up the path. You could go to the back exit of the volcano. So you're in a pretty good area. It works out pretty well. It's very hidden in here. Plenty of resources. It's just a great little area. All you need to do is just clog up this little hole here. Make it very secure. It's very hard to penetrate this kind of area if you make it really safe. And then you don't really have to worry about anything in here. You don't have to worry about any walls, because that is all done for you by the map itself. It's a lovely little area you can have. I really like it. Last time I was here I had a little well, and I built a house in here with a bunch of people. It accommodated for a lot of us, and we just stacked a few things up. And if you want to find it, it is right here on the map, just above the dam in this house right here. The others don't have this kind of thing, it's only this house here. And you're next to a bunch of stuff and resources. Everything you need will be here. And you're near a lot of locations. You're pretty central, actually, if you live here as well. I really like this location as well because you get to see a lot, and you've got a really good viewpoint as well. You've got a river next to you, you can place fish traps in, stuff like that. It's really great. Full camps are nearby. So, getting places, getting thralls is not a problem at all over here. And you're near a lot of the higher tier stuff. Coming to my fourth location, now this is in the jungle. It is a bit more different from the other ones. It is definitely much, much smaller of a living space. But you can still build in here, and it is a very secluded area. You do not get many people that will go through here at all, so you'd be pretty well off in this little area. Now there's actually more space than it looks really with here. You have your door, you would have to cover the whole crack opening. But there is an easy way in. If you're very conservative with your space, then there'll be more than you think. And a little bit at the end is where you'll probably get most of your space and stations in. You'd have to be very careful, stack things up and stuff like that. But no, there's quite a bit of room in here. You could have forges, stuff like that in here. And you would have plenty of trees and rocks in the area also to farm out. A little bit over, just over the horizon there is metal also that you can harvest. It is a bit more lackluster in metal here in this location in the jungle, so that would probably be your only problem, getting iron. You could also use this little space underneath to put bigger things like a full wheel, stuff like that. You can keep it concealed in this little round over bit underneath. Very hidden, and probably not the best area for lots of people, but you can get stuff done here easy. Like you could even place a little forge on these bits or hide chests under the stairs. Stuff like that. Depends how you want to build it, but this is just like a little example I have here of how I would go about getting up into the back section, but it's a good little hidden spot. And that concludes this little area here. Welcome to my next location. Now this place is a bit more out in the open, but it's still a really good location because not many people think of actually going up here. And a lot of the areas by the green wall is unbuildable. But this is one place you can build. It's not too easy to get up to. And you could easily protect yourself on these whole areas. You could definitely stay hidden from most people. And you definitely can build up here for quite a ways up. There is plenty of room. There is a little spider up here that does spawn. But you could tuck a little house in here somewhere. At the top of there, nobody would see you. You are kind of near the obelisk down there. But you should easily be able to get some nice wood, stone, stuff like that. You could even use this little platform down here as a decoy if you wanted to. Or use it as more space. And then use that tree as a way to get up here. But now there is plenty of room on that top little bit. It's a nice little location if you wanted an out of the way spot and you couldn't think of a place to go. It is very nice and bright up here as well. The only resource you'd probably have trouble getting here would be metal ore. Your best bet would be going over to the pirate area, the mountain just before, and collect metal there. But apart from that, this is a nice little base spot I found, and it's not one people find very often at all, unless you were to make it really, really obvious, but it is a nice hidden spot. Now this area is just on the edge of the map here, near the upper staging area, just on this peak here. That's all I pretty much have to say about this one. It's pretty straightforward. You could use walling to protect the edges if you liked and use spike walls that way. But I think you should be pretty fine. As long as you keep things hidden, it is very unlikely someone will find you up here. Welcome to my next location, my next and final. Now this location is more in the south, unlike the other ones, and it is right here next to the Dragon Arena, just to the side there. This area, you can block off this door here. There's only 3 entry points. It's this entry point here, the one on the other side, and there is one just tucked up on the roof here. But apart from that, the spots aren't that big and they will be easy to clog up with foundation and stuff. Then you would just have to protect the areas on the outside by putting pets there, stuff like that. That would do easily. You can see it's quite thick here as well, so you could really layer in that foundation, honeycomb walls, stuff like that, and you should be pretty good. It would take someone very dedicated to want to actually bother to get in then. But overall, you should be very, very comfortable in here. There is a ton of space in here, and it is in a great area. You are near pretty much everything. You have trees, you have rocks, you have metal nearby, you have water. Pretty much all you need, and you are also near falls as well. The Black Hand ship is only just upriver, and you have several camps nearby also. But I really like this area. It is very difficult terrain-wise to build on, but when you get stuff like the level out, some foundation and tiers above, then you get some really flat, big spaces. I think your main problem here would be clogging up this big entrance here, but it's not too much of a problem. It is not overly thick. You would still have similar problems in the crevice and stuff, but you could easily just start piling in stuff, and then it's not really a big deal once you've got all of that in there. Another nice thing about this place is there is a secret chest that can spawn with this rock, so I might just leave this area alone, and you can get free loot out of this as long as it comes back. Then you should always get free loot. You just break the rock, wait for the rubble to remove itself, and there you go, you got a free chest in your house. It drops some pretty nice stuff. The only really annoying part here is the ghost that might spawn occasionally just to show you where that chest is. Another place you'd have to worry about only in here would be here. Make sure you just fill this with foundations and stuff. And you should be good though, apart from that. You get pretty good shelter in here also, very covered from sandstorms. So you should be more than good here. There is animals as well everywhere over here. So you are well supplied to live here, and it's very, very nice. But anyway, that's all I got time for today. Thank you for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!